Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta, no matter where in this wild, wacky, and sometimes wonderful world you might be, thank you for making the Highbury Squad part of your day. It's a brand new series here at Squad Central, Podcaster of the Week. Get to know your YouTubers a little bit better, courtesy of the Highbury Squad. And who better to kick this off than with one of our favourites? Let's rock and roll, Squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Hola, hola, hola. Welcome back to Squad Central. Thanks to everyone who has tuned in this week. Great show with Tom on Monday on Spend Stick Sell. Superb show with Potsy. Get off the Potsy on Wednesday. Make sure you get stuck into the YouTube comments and let us know what your 5 Arsenal non-negotiables are. And we had the brilliant David Hillier on yesterday telling us about what pre-season was like under George Graham. And the crescendo of the week. And you can blame him for the time change. I've had a few notes from people saying, you said it was 8 o'clock. But you know what? When Lee Judges says, can we change the time? I guess you change the time. Welcome back to Squad Central. At ease, the judge.
Wow. Yeah, sorry about that. Family business, you know what I mean? So we're all going out for a meal. It's meant to be tomorrow, but it's today now, and so no one tells me until the day. And of course, then I realised that we was doing this, but there weren't no Pacific time. I have to say that, so I thought, yeah.
You know what? I was going to say, I booked you, but I didn't tell you a time, even though I set the time over a week ago on the channel. I didn't tell you. So really, if we were going to put it out to vote with the Squaddies, it's probably my fault.
It's 50-50.
just like an Arsenal challenge, 50-50. So listen, those of you listening on replay, I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as we have recording this, because I know it's going to be fun. Now, the idea of Podcaster of the Week is that we do talk, of course, a little bit of Arsenal, and we're going to get Lee's take on some bits, but then we're going to dig in a little deeper and get to know them on a personal level for you, because a lot of them I do know. Although there are a couple of things that I might not know about Lee that he'll share on the show today. Right. Lee, let's start off. I'm going to top and tail this with a little bit of Arsenal talk, because the new away kit is out. Our good friend Fergus from Guns and Yellow Ribbons is comparing it to a Lynx deodorant, inspired by a Lynx deodorant. I think because the black kit was so sexy a couple of seasons ago, people are finding it difficult to embrace this one. Personally, I miss the old yellow and blue. Give me a yellow shirt, give me some blue shorts, and let's rock and roll. Let's get your take right away on the new away kit. It's good to see Jury and Timber, by the way. But how do you rate? You can tell us about the home kit as well, but in particular, this one that seems to be polarizing already.
What can I say?
The long pause says it all.
What can I say? Listen, I'm with you, Sophie, and I'm yellow and blue all day long for the away kit. Fur kit, do whatever you want with it, I really liked the green kit last season. I did like that one, but this one, I think if you're going to go to listen, I think you're right what you said. The black and gold one is just unbelievable. I when that first come out, I just said, I want it to be yellow and blue, but hold on a minute, I had to go and buy that one. This one, I think, as they say, I think I'll give it a miss. It's not for me. It's not for me. I think
you're not going to buy it at all. You're not going to invest in this one.
No.
Wow.
No. Do you know what? For the first time, I think I'm not going to invest in any of the three. I'm not a lover of any of them. The green one last year was brilliant. I didn't like the away kit, but it grew on me. obviously the red and white one was good. The red and white one this season, the actual top looks good, but then when you put it with the shorts, it don't look good, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got like the blue sort of thing all the way down it. I don't know what all that's about. It's like someone's just come and painted 2 blue lines on the short. Not for me. But the third kit don't really do it for me neither. So I have to agree with Fergus and all that. It does look like a Lynx thing. I know it's based towards the African supporting community and players that have played for Arsenal. So I get that. So, you know, I think it was called Lynx Africa, wasn't it, if I remember rightly? So
I think Ian said that. Yeah, I think Lee wrote that. Oh no, Ian wrote that a minute ago.
Right. Yes, I think it may be inspired by that. Like, you know, so it's okay. You know, but it's not. Some of the warm up. By the way, have you seen the warm up tops? Well, you need sunglasses when you go out for them. I tell you, not for me, like, you know, not for me. So no, I'm old school when it comes to this sort of thing. So far, I really am. I think you can mess around with the third kit, but not the second one. But for me, it might grow on us when they start winning games in it, like, you know, as the away kit did last season. Well, I'm beaten in that apparently. So. Yeah, I'm not.
Would you rather we had last year's away kit than this one?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah,
it's like asking.
I know that's like, you know, it weren't great last year, was it? Like, you know what I mean? I think, like, if you remember the year before, the black one was the yellow and blue one with the all yellow. I thought that was.
I liked that one. That was my last favourite away.
That was kit. I still think that beats the black and yellow, but I understand the black and yellow. You can wear anything with it. You don't have to worry about what you've got on your shorts or colour shorts or whatever. It just goes with everything. So I get that one with the black one, but I did like that yellow one. But the last two, I think, you know, have been a bit of a miss, if I'll be really honest. Like, you know, so and as I say, some of the warm up tops that I've seen, we'll leave them in the shop, as they say. Like, I'm not purchasing them.
Listen, here's the thing. I know we're getting old, Lee. We talk about that. Honestly, talking to David Hillier yesterday, you should listen to his stories about the preseason under George Graham, you know, because we were talking about now weight rooms and, you know, measuring kilometers and the data and the science and the analytics. And he was talking about how basically the weight training was whoever came back the fattest, you had to lift them and do weights.
Incredible, isn't it?
Oh my God, so classic. Do you think it's a case of us getting older, or is it a mix in terms of Arsenal really trying to attract new fans? I equate this to, I worked on the Star Wars movies, not the ones that came out in 77, but the prequels. And then when DVDs came out, I got to work on the original movies, which was unbelievable. You know, worked with George Lucas and Carrie Fisher, and it was amazing. But the new movies were never about my generation or our generation. They were about attracting a new generation. And I feel like a lot of Arsenal's marketing these days is geared towards a newer, younger, maybe even hipper audience. Do you agree with that or disagree?
No, I totally agree with that. And the thing is, with my generation, we were sort of brought up not to wear our colours. You know what I mean? When you win a away, man, don't wear your colours. So you were sort of ingrained into not wearing football shirts. It was only over the last few years since I've been getting into this that you do. A lot of my mates still won't buy a football shirt or go to, if we go to football, none of them would be wearing a football shirt. It's sort of ingrained in it. So I get that our age is a little bit funny about it. And, you know, I'll stick to the original sort of thing, like, you know, but, you know, it's probably the younger culture that do buy the shirts all the time, the kids and everything like that. And so I get it. You know, I'll be honest. If you put a poll out last year, over 40s for their away kit, no one liked it. But all the under 30s and all that loved it. Oh, what are you on about? It's a great kit, like, you know. And I'm thinking, really? You know what I mean? But so I get it. You know, the younger generation were like this, and it does attract and I do think also, that, you know, if you're a younger person and all that, look, listen, Arsenal's red and white kit was very influential in me becoming an Arsenal fan. You know what I mean? I could have gone either Spurs or Arsenal. I felt that Spurs white and black was a bit bland, when the red and white was just a little bit more snazzier. So I'm not saying it was the only reason, but it was one of the reasons, the red and white kit. So I probably, people like young kids and all that, like kits could be an influence over them as well. Like, so I do agree.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that, because it's really funny how generationally now there are fans of a team, but they're attracted to, for example, a lot of Arsenal fans love the Norwegian kit that came out, right? Haaland and Odegaard didn't get to wear it at the Euros, but a lot of them loved it. Tom Canton loved it, and I think I don't know if he bought it or not, but there's a lot of.
He wouldn't have bought it, would he? Like Tom, like that.
I don't know. We'll have to check. But there are a lot of young fans who are attracted to one of my good friends and our good friend of the show, DJ Tony Perry. He loves the old school retro PSG gear. You know, there are a lot of fans that buy a Real Madrid shirt, a Barcelona shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it's football is fashion now. It's streetwear.
That is exactly right. You know, and you do, you know, funny enough, if you go into London and all that, you see a lot of people walking around with Real Madrid shirts on, Barcelona shirts. You know, and the Barcelona shirt for me has always been iconic. You know what I mean? Like the colour of it, and you know, the stripes and doing what they do with it, more so than Real Madrid, because Real Madrid was plain white. But as you say, like PSG have come into it a little bit now, like, you know. So I think it is. It's a big business, isn't it? It is a big business.
Oh, yeah.
You know, make a lot of money, and you know, I feel a little bit for Adidas, really, because they've got to come up with something for Arsenal, something for Man United, something for somebody else, Chelsea or wherever it is, and all be a little bit different, like, you know. So, you know, it is tough, but listen, I'm pretty sure, you know, I'll be in the minority, and people will be going, yeah, they love that top, like, you know, and all the trimmings that go with it, like, you know. Listen, some people like Brussels sprouts at Christmas, others don't. You know what I mean? It's your preference.
Some people love a filet-o-fish, some don't. That's just the way life goes. Well, listen, speaking of merchandise, the Arsenal are coming to the country that accounts for over 20% of merchandise sales. There's a reason why Arsenal Football Club come to America. And of course, we have American owners, but the fan base here is absolutely massive. And not only is the Arsenal coming to America, but so is Mr. Judges. So we're going to get stuck into our podcaster of the week stuff here. You've been here before. I don't know if you've been to Philly, but I was going to ask you, by the way, I love this picture of you and Cecil. It's such a lovely, you can't see it, guys, because I had to get the Hollywood sign in at the very top, which is blurred out. But they are having a nice little spoon, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's wonderful. What is your favorite American city that you've been to so far?
What, through Arsenal, or just
let's do through both, through Arsenal and then in general.
Right. Well, visiting, like, because I've travelled around America and all that when I was younger. Phoenix, Arizona was just, I don't know what it was. It was just, that was the one for me, weather-wise, everything like that. So Phoenix was special. Also, I have to bring in Knoxville, Tennessee, because obviously that was the first time I went to America on the World's Tour when I was playing football out there. And that was a magnificent experience. So Knoxville for that reason. And then for the tours and all that, I thought Orlando was spectacular. I just felt it was closer. It was like the games and everything like that. And I think, if I'll be really honest, Sophie, it was my first tour. So I think that was a special one, like, you know. And some of the people out there that we met, one of my mates owns a bar out there, so that was great to catch up with them. But yeah, to spend a bit of time there, a bit of hospitality as well I had in Orlando. and the fans out there, I just thought like it was just a new experience and everything like that. So I'll probably say Orlando, but the best stadium, we'll be there at the weekend, and that is Sophia Stadium. That is unbelievable.
SoFi Stadium, the house that the Kroenkes built.
It is unreal.
It's a shame the World Cup final's not going to be there, Lee. And
is it not? Is it not? It's going to be in New York, isn't it, or something? Is it New York?
I think. Is it going to be in at MetLife Stadium? They were talking about Dallas Cowboys, but it's because of the pitch size and the way they structured it and built it. And Kroenke dug his heels in. He didn't want to make any modifications. But I put good money on SoFi being the location for the World Cup final. But yeah, it is. I know you've been to. I know we have to take our rose-colored glasses off. You've been to Tottenham Stadium. That's an amazing stadium.
Yes.
Bayern Munich Stadium is pretty amazing. But SoFi Stadium, I think, is the best in the world.
Yeah, Tottenham's the best in Europe that I've been to. If you include all those teams, Bayern Munich and all that, Atletico Madrid when they had their new start. I haven't been to Barcelona or Real Madrid since they've done them up. So I'll hold judgment on them. But yeah, Tottenham's is fantastic. I have to say that. I like to go. I'm going to go. I am going to an American football game at Tottenham Stadium, so you can experience what it's like at that, because you only really experience it in the away ends, so you can go right. But
that's cool.
Yeah, I don't worry. I'll be on the floor. Don't worry about that. But anyway,
you know what? Yeah. I had this question coming up for you. So hold the mayo on that. With regards, I got a stadium question coming for you a little bit later on. Okay, so you're coming to America. The fans are great. The Arsenal America group are incredible. Tiffany and the rest of the gang just look after everybody so beautifully. You will be traveling with your AFTV colleagues. Not sure who's made the preseason squad, but we will find out. And showed the cuddly picture of you and Cecil. And then here's one of you and Julian. And then here's one again of you. Now I'm going to put my money on your favorite travel buddy being Cecil. Now, I might be wrong, but you tell us, who's the best and worst to travel with when you guys go to away games or come to the tours?
Listen, best is Cecil, got to say that. Like, we was very fortunate that his first trip away was my first trip when we went to Nuremberg a couple of seasons ago in Germany, and so he'd only just joined the channel, not that long, so we didn't know each other really that well, and so we went out there a little bit green. What's the word when not inexperienced? Green.
You were green.
A little bit green. So we didn't know what we was doing, and we just had the best time. Just got on so well. Like, he was obviously a lot younger than me, but he's just an incredible guy. I'll tell you what, he's so talented in so many ways. Dancing, we've gone away from home, and he's been doing a show, and we've all gone, and he's brilliant, very, very good at that. But he's not flash or anything like that. He's just a lovely guy, and we just have fun. We just laugh. So yeah, he's definitely the best, and I'm fortunate that we go to a lot of games in Europe as well. But the tour, when we went on that first tour, we roomed together as well. He's got a couple of dirty habits, but I won't reveal. But I'd sort of let them go, because he's just such a good guy. Yeah, and whenever we see each other, we always have a laugh, and that photo there, I love that photo, that one there of us, because
this one's pretty gangster.
That one's iconic, and Cecil's got that.
This one's adorable.
Yeah. We just we just get on well, and we're buzzing for the tour, and one of the reasons it's because of him,
So now you've got to tell us, because this is what we do to players when they come on, right? And Kev used to tell us and Hilly are the best and worst roommates they ever had. Now they all get their own rooms. But who's the and I know he will say this with love, but who's the worst? Who is it, like, whether it's the seat on the plane, whether it's like the accommodations, who's the worst?
Listen, it's two. The worst, and by far the worst to ever have, is Julian. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in a room sharing with him, like, you know what I mean? He takes over the room. You know, he don't wear no clothes when he's walking around. You know what I mean? Like,
hold on a second. Hold on a second. This is reminding me of that episode of Sex in the City where Charlotte's husband just walked around naked and used to sit on white furniture, totally naked.
Oh,
is this what we're talking about?
We're just we have an agreement, like, you know what I mean, like, wear shorts, you know what I mean, like, and then what he just does, just walking through. One time we was in I think we was in Bodo, like, and he's drawing. I'm laying in bed, woke up, and he's pulling the curtains back, stark naked, and all that. Like, it's just sort of, you know, it's not a good scene, like, you know what I mean, like, you know. So he would be the worst to go around and all that. Nick's food, he don't buy no food, and then you know, you say, like,
what do you mean?
We'll say,
from
like,
the buffet, or like from your plate?
What we do is we get like an apartment, like a villa, when we go out there, like, so we all, like, you know, so we'll go to the shop. He'll be parking the van, so he won't be, like, so we're all going there, get our own little bits and pieces as well as the main shop, sort of thing, like, you know. And say if you've got, like, I don't know, a pack of crisps or something, like, or whatever, he'll just come along and just open them up and start eating them, things like that. He's a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But if you're on the plane next to him, it's all right. There's someone a lot worse.
He's redeemed himself just a tad.
Just a tad, like, you know what I mean? But we all,
I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, when we get the tickets, no offence to the governor, you know what I mean? Like, if you're next to Robbie, it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. He takes up 1.5 seats. So you can imagine it, like, you know, I'm back, and I got the short straw back from LA to London last time, like, and I'm like that all the way through, like, you know. So, and he's like, you know, and you can't have a go at him. Like, if it's somebody else, if it's Cecil, you could go, oh, get over, like, but you know what I mean? He's paying for it all, so you have to sort of let it slide. So I have been informed that I'm not next to him on the plane, and he was sort of saying, like, you know, he might get an upgrade. And he's going, and he turned around and said, I might be able to get an upgrade, but I feel a bit bad about doing that. And I'm going, no, get the upgrade, get yourself up on it, like, you know what I mean? Just go, enjoy yourself. No one will feel offended. Like, get up there, like, you know what I mean? Just get out of the way, like, you know. So but there you go.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You know, it's so funny because you can be such good friends with someone and you can love and adore someone, but that doesn't mean they make a great travel buddy. You know, it's really a unique thing. But I know that you have so much fun when you guys go away together, and it's always good banter. Always good banter.
Listen, Julian, jokes aside, is great banter. You can have a lot. You can say anything you want to Julian. He just bounces off it. He loves it. You know what I mean? It's just such good fun to be around as well, because you can banter him, take the mickey out of him, and he comes back. But you know, he's good. They're all good. They're all very, very good. Very, very fortunate.
All right. So it is that time of year, and I know if we were on a guess, you know, like what was it? Magic Mike did this Podly friend thing. And I had to answer this question. I think I would nail it for you. I'm going to say summer is your favorite season. And so we are in summer, and we're going to have a little bit of summer with Lee right now. I love this. Listen, this is going to be I think this might be my new favorite show on Highbury Squad, just because we're going to find out so much about YouTubers, and we've got great guests coming up. But what is your favorite holiday destination? And get involved, everyone. Let us know what yours is too. Go on, Lee.
I'm going to have to say Dubai. I keep going back there. It's just, I think with Dubai, you either love it or you hate it. I don't think there's anything in between. And I weren't too keen about going at first, but Michelle sort of said to me, "Oh, come on, let's just do it," like, you know, and so yeah, and ever since been going back. I just love it. I just love it, like, you know, probably more so. We went in the summer this year, which was fantastic, but the winter ones are lovely as well. Like when you're laying on the beach or you're laying by the pool, and you know everybody's freezing cold or getting soaked. There's just something about that. Don't you agree? Don't you? You must know that from LA.
I do.
Listen,
I do. I do. People get annoyed with me. You know, it's so funny because we'll be on the show sometimes and I'll be like, God, it's just so hot. And it's literally -2 in England. And there's something quite satisfying about that. I agree with you.
There is. You can't help it. There is something nice about it. 100% with you on it, like, you know what I mean? Do you know when, like, you're at home, like, in the summer, and like when we was in Dubai, like, you know, you phone home or whatever, and you get in it, oh, it's raining, like, yes. So when you're laying on the feet and they're basking in the day like it has been today, you sort of like a little bit bittersweet about it, like, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, so I'm big deal. I love some of the things in there. I'd love to go to the Caribbean, but one thing about the Caribbean, being a sun freak, there's always when I've
chance of rain.
Chance of rain, yeah. You know what I mean?
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. That happens.
Yeah, you know, I have enough of that in England. You know what I mean? So when I go away, I don't want that. You know what I mean? I went to Portugal, by the way. It's lovely last year, beautiful out there, but we had a day of rain. Not good. I'm there shopping.
Wanted a refund.
Yes.
Listen, there's a lot of really good ones coming in the chat, from South Africa to Arizona. Actually, our Texan friend Lone Star is in agreement with you. Tammy wants to go to the West Indies. Dubai, living in Dubai and holidaying in Dubai, two different things, says Harvey. I think that's a lot. And Harvey also, by the way, brings up a great point. He says that we've got to take lead to Cyprus. So I think there needs to be, at some point, if Arsenal ever got you know what, Cypriot team will get into Europa League or European Conference, but it's doubtful being the Champions League. But if ever that were to happen again, me and Harry would be the pilots, not Robbie. We would be the pilots, and we would take everyone to Cyprus and show you the island of love. Yeah, that's brilliant stuff. And by the way, you're getting compared to Ben Kingsley in Sexy Beast in this picture that I put up. By the way, this one, Ben Kingsley. Someone said Jason Statham.
I like that. I like that.
Michelle will like that one. Yeah. Ah, good stuff. All right. What is your favorite summer drink? One of the things that I think Arsenal fans love is always seeing you with the little pinky up, having a little, and we all know, a half pint, right? Never a full pint. Although, you know, I think he lies. He likes to have a little tipple. But what is your favorite summer beverage?
Obviously, like, you know, you can't beat a beer, but like that's all the time around. But in the summer, I do change every now and then to a Koppenberg. You know, loads of ice, mixed fruits, beautifully, definitely a lovely summer drink, like, you know, and I recommend them, but don't get fooled by them. You know, they are lovely, and all of a sudden after 4, 5, 6, you could be like struggling a little bit, but they are, I think they're really, like, especially in the summer, like, do you know what I mean? I would never have one of them in the winter. But in the summer, loads of ice, beautiful, like, you know. Pims is very nice as well, like, you know. I mean, I do like a Pims. Punting in Cambridge with a Pims is very nice.
Yeah, it's like in the winter, like a martini espresso seems very apropos, you know. And in the summer, I know everyone's drinking those drinks that look orange. What they call it? Not spritzer, Aperol, an Aperol. Those things are disgusting. I don't know how anyone can drink them. They're so sweet. Yeah, very nasty. I think a nice tall glass of KO beer, as you English would say, we say Geo, is my favorite drink in the summer. What is your favorite spot to visit in England? Whether when you were younger or now, because a lot of the times we're like, oh, I can't wait to go to Dubai or Cyprus or wherever. But England is beautiful in the summertime. What's your favorite spot?
I always try and get there once a year now on the coast. Bournemouth. Love Bournemouth. Love the beaches. So Bournemouth would be there. Obviously Manchester, you know what I mean, for obvious reasons. So it's going to be a little bit sweet going back to Manchester when I do, but for obvious reasons, Manchester. But for a coastal place, yeah, I do. I've got a little thing for Bournemouth. I like Bournemouth. Yeah. I think it's the sandy beaches, lovely beaches in Bournemouth.
I used to love going to the seaside when I was younger. We'd always get in my uncle's VW, you know, those old the VW vans, and he put a telly in it, and we'd go down to Folkestone because my brother's godparents lived there, and literally every other weekend we were in Folkestone, and I those days are the best days. So good, so quality. Good.
And if the weather was nice, more people would go to those sort of places. Torquay, you know, places like that. Devon and Cornwall.
Torquay's lovely.
Yeah, I remember when we was young going to Devon and Cornwall, long drives, and you know, it was fantastic. Like, you know, but yeah, and I do like, you know, I don't know about you. I like the donuts you get at the seaside. You know what I mean? Those with all the sugar on them. Oh, lovely! Like, you know, get them anywhere else.
Everything smells better at the seaside.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, fish and chips is different, isn't it? Like, you know, so with you on that one.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when you, and also because when we're growing up in London and living in London, when you're driving and that first little peak of the sea, when you see it,
yeah,
it's kind of like when you go into a football stadium and you see that green grass for the first time ever. It's like, wow, this is so cool. Oh man. Just such great memories, right?
Yeah.
Great memories.
Quality.
All right. Let's get into some of what Lee does away from football, right? And we're going to start off with your pop culture favorites. Who's your favorite actor of all time?
It's a hard question. My favorite actor is of all time. I've got two favorite actors, one in film, one in television. So
that's all right. We'd love to hear it.
Telly Savalas was
Who
one
loves
of my
baby?
Like Kojak, but he used to play the baddie in cowboy and Indian films and things like that, and I loved them. I love that. My favourite films, westerns. Absolutely, still watch them to this day. Cowboy and Indian films, love them. So, so he was my favourite. But Jimmy now, you know what I mean? Like,
really? I was not expecting that at all. I was not expecting that at all.
Adored Jimmy now and Oz in I'll Be the Same Pet, like, you know. Yeah.
That was a great show.
Oh, it's back on. It's back on. The second series is back on now on telly. It's just the best. It's the best. So,
you know, for us Greeks, Telly Savalas, because, you know, we Greeks really embrace people when they become famous, because it's, you know, you don't, now there's more, of course, but growing up, you know, my dad loved him, and my dad's generation, especially my uncle Zach, who, you know, was totally bald and shaved his head off once he lost his hair. His nickname was Kojak. And it was, you know, everyone embraced Telly Savalas as well, because he did a lot of good things for the community, and he sustained his Greekness. So we had Telly Savalas, George Michael, one of Cyprus's greatest exports ever is Anna Vissi, but no one would know that. An amazing singer. And, you know, Marcos Baghdadis. And then we clung on to Jennifer Aniston, but she changed her surname to, you know, make it more contained. So so I love that you've said Telly Savalas, basically, Lee.
Yeah, I was just someone said in the chat there, I didn't quite get the name. Kelly's Heroes. That's one of the best war film ever. Like, you know what I mean? The best war film. Like, he plays Big Joe in that. Like, you know what I mean? Fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? So if you've not watched that film, Kelly's Heroes, Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas, you love it.
Yeah. Do you know my favorite Telly Savalas film is Escape from Athena? Maybe because it was set on the Greek islands as well. What a cast as well in that. Yeah. David Niven, Robert Wagner. There's a lot of really great actors in that. Okay, your favorite actress. Now, I'm not asking who you think is the hottest actress of all time here, Lee Judges. Your favorite actress of all time.
Favorite? Oh, that's a tough one. Like, I mean, who would I say was my favourite? Kate Winslet. I like her.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah,
she's very good. Very good.
She's good. Yes. And she's also a lovely human. I got to meet Kate when I worked on Titanic, and she is one of those where when you meet, she could have a beer with us at the pub before the game. She's that cool. Yeah. I like that answer.
Sophie Nicolaou was lovely, by the way. Did like her.
Yes. I love that movie with her and Cary Grant, Houseboat. It's one of my favorite films. When I'm sick, I love to watch Houseboat. But also how beautiful Sophia Loren, my goodness. Wow. Yeah, Margot Robbie. A lot of guys like Margot Robbie and Monica Bellucci. I wonder why. Okay, your favorite film of all time?
There's only one film for me. I've watched it I don't know how many times. And that's Jaws. It is just.
It still scares me today.
Scares me. I never wanted to go. Never went swimming in the sea for ages when I was a kid. After that, just a poor man for ages.
But it's a classic.
It's a classic. Like, I've watched it so many times. The acting in that, Robert Shaw is sensational in that. Richard Dreyfuss, of course, and Roy Scheider, all fantastic in it. But there's all little things going off of them as well. Like, and me and my brother if we wanted, you could sit us down in a room and we could do the acting of those scenes without needing the word. You know, like learning the lines, knowing exactly like what to say. And we used to do that.
I love it.
Fantastic, like, you know. Definitely that.
That is a genius. Like when you talk about a theme, that has to be, if it's not number one, it's number two. That still to this day, when you hear it, it is so timeless. What a film. I love it. What a film.
The music.
All right. I think you kind of told us if Jimmy Nail's your favorite actor, is the show your favorite ever TV show then?
Yes. I've got to say that. Only Fools and Horses coming up second, but I'll be the same, Pet. Like, you know, the first two series probably were I just think incredible, absolutely incredible. Like, you know,
very clever,
very, very clever. And Oz as a character was just incredible, Do
you remember one of my modern day favorite show is Mad Men, but my all-time favorite show is The Young Ones. I love The Young Ones with Rick Mayall.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. Absolutely, absolutely brilliant show. Just revolutionary, brilliant stuff. Okay. Your favorite ever band?
I'm into all sorts of type of music, but the one band that I've always followed is U2. Just love them, like live. Some of the songs that they've done, you know what I mean, like incredible. Bono, whatever you want to call him, was just
Bono.
You know what I mean, like. But I just love. I really, really like. Not, you know, like different now and it like to what it was, but like, like, back in the day, they was unbelievable. Like, you know what I mean, unbelievable.
Do you know, Lee? I still have VHS tapes when I used to tape Top of the Pops. They're at my mum and dad's house in Cyprus. I used to tape all of the Top of the Pops, like some of the most iconic acts on Top of the Pops. Do you remember listening to the top 40 with your boombox and being ready to hit record and play?
big thing, wasn't it? Like, you know what I mean? If you missed it, you'd be furious.
You'd be furious.
You know, that was the thing. We was coming home from Liverpool on Sunday evening, and you know, we're all the same age, and it was a big thing, wasn't it? Like listening to the top 40 from 6 o'clock, or was it 6 o'clock till 7 or whatever it was? It's not that, you know, but no one would go out for that hour, would they? Like, you'd be all listening to it. You know, it was just the thing you did. And it's not the same now, is it? Like, you know what I mean? I think the top 40 come on when we was driving. One of us said, I never knew they still done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know,
5 o'clock to 7, Lee. 5
Is that
o'clock to
what it
7
was?
every
5 to 7?
Sunday. Yeah. And me and my brother, when my brother was able to drive, and it was like, I'm sure, like with you and your brother too, when you had wheels Sunday, we used to get in the car at 5 o'clock and drive around London for 2 hours listening to the top 40.
Yeah, unreal, wasn't it?
It was unreal. We'd go like into town. My dad would say, just stay around North London. Sure, fine. We'd go down to Hampstead, Camden, and we'd just be driving around listening to the top 40 for 2 hours every Sunday from
It was
the
mad.
day my brother got his license for a couple of years. Yeah, it was amazing.
There weren't nothing to do on a Sunday, though, was there? If I'll be really honest, maybe that was what it was to do, like, you know what I mean? But it was just, you know what I mean? Like, I remember as a kid, like, you know, Bath night, like, you know what I mean? Have a bath, like, you know what I mean? And like, and then listen to the top 40, like, while they was watching some rubbish down there. I don't know what they were watching, Mum and Dad, like, but you'd be upstairs.
Not songs of praise.
Oh, I think it'd be something like that. It was like awful, like whatever it was. It was, I'll tell you what it was. Poldark and things like that. Do you remember that Poldark? My mum loved it. It was rubbish. Oh, it was awful. Like, you know what I mean? Poldark's on, be quiet. Christ almighty, like, you know what I mean? So
I think that show's made a comeback as well.
But
by the way,
nowhere near like the real Poldark. And Black Beauty was on. I think that was great. You used to
I
love
Black Beauty.
Love the music to that. It was unbelievable, like, you know. So
I could hear it in my mind.
I
could
hear
it.
I used to listen to the music and then not watch the program because the program was crap. But like, I love the music. Like, you know what I mean?
Thank you for the correction, Scout Schooner. The top 40 was 4 to 7. I stand corrected. Yeah, you know, we only had 2 channels, Lee. No wonder we have like, you know, go dry. I mean, it was later. We had Channel 4 and everything. But, you know, when your mum was watching Poldark, there were 2 channels.
Yeah,
BBC and ITV.
You couldn't do it, like, you know what I mean? Like, someone's putting in double deckers. What a song that was, by the way. Wow. You know what I mean? That's brilliant.
Oh, Mind Your Language.
That was so funny. So funny, like, you know what I mean?
That would never get made. Never get made.
I used to love that program, the Banana Splits, you know. So
here we go. We could be here forever.
So like fantastic times they were. Like, come on, they were the best times. Like, you know, they were the best. I love it.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, so what is your favorite thing to do outside of? Oh, hold on, I didn't get your favorite song. You've got your favorite band. If you had to pick a song.
I growing up as a kid, I loved 2 songs. Bright Eyes, remember that one? Bright Eyes as a kid, and Video Killed the Radio Star, like, you know what I mean? But anyway, that was a kid's thing. Like, beautiful. It's a brilliant song, by the way. It still is up there as one of my favourite songs. But U2 have had a song out called Bad. It's not like if people know, if U2 fans will know it, like if go and check it out. It's called Bad U2. It is an unbelievable song. So that is it for me.
Brilliant. Love that. What's your favourite food? It's definitely not filet-o fish, but what is your favourite
Definitely no
food?
If I'll be really honest, if you was to say to me, like, what would it be? Steak and kidney pie would be the thing, like, you know, I'm gonna.
What do you have with it?
Chips and beans. I'm not fussed, but like mash and gravy. You know, we're going to a restaurant today that does it, and that's one of the reasons we're going there. Like, you know what I mean? And I will have the steak and kidney pie. And we went there once, and I remember, I shouldn't say they didn't have none left, and I done a strop. You know, don't want to be here. Don't want to be here.
Do you know who I am?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, could have. You know, when you booked it up, you should have said save one. Like, I was right up, like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I would say that. But I do love an Indian. You know what I mean? If I'm going to an Indian, that would be like my
like Newman. Newman loves an Indian.
Yeah.
Red sauce, brown sauce, or no sauce, just gravy? You're not a mixer.
Now, this is a really weird thing. right, I cannot mix gravy with any sort of sauce. So if I'm having gravy on my pie, right, no sauce. But if it's like steak and kidney pie, chips and beans, on goes the ketchup or the brown, not bothered, like, you know what I mean? But as soon as you start, I can't mix gravy. Our people can have, and I've seen them, I know a couple, I'm not mentioning them, like have Sunday dinner and whack tomato sauce on it. He's like, it should be banned for life. Shouldn't be allowed to eat a roast dinner, but they do. So I can't mix gravy with sauce.
I'm totally with you. Anyone who puts gravy and some type of sauce together. I like sauces, like if I'm having a Greek meze, I don't mind having my daramo salada, my tzatziki, and my dashin, and my melinzano salada on the same plate as I dip my pita bread. But gravy is a sole sauce. It should be respected on the plate by itself. Totally with you. Totally with you. Bosh. Okay, keep them coming. Some fun ones coming in from the Squaddies, and those of you listening on replay, join in as well. All right, what is your favorite thing to do outside of football?
Am I allowed to say that? Apart from the obvious,
I stole these pictures from your Facebook page, by the way.
I like obviously going like places and things like that, but I love me cricket as well. I do love me cricket away. Do you know what people say to you? And you're right about the summer when they go, oh, there's a lot of my mate, oh, I don't like the summer because there's no football, and you know what I mean. I miss the Arsenal and all that. Like I never miss it because I love the summer. You've got the tennis just gone through Wimbledon. By the way, it's the best. That's the best day out you ever have, Wimbledon. But the cricket's on, like, you know what I mean. You've got the golf on now, like. There's so many different things to do, and you can go out, venture into little countryside pubs, bit of food, and I love eating out. I do love eating out and things like that. So that would be that'd be it for me, like, yeah, 100%.
I love that. Nothing like eating out with mates, and oh my God, I'm Greek. I love food. I could eat all day long. Okay, so let's swing it back to, in fact, let's get this one first before we swing it back to football and finish with some football bits. What is Lee Judge's pet peeve? And if you have several, other than sitting next to Robbie on a plane, rooming with Julian and seeing him walk around naked, pulling the curtains, what is Lee Judge's major pet peeve?
And I'll tell you what, I don't know how people feel about this, right? But it is, I was thinking about this. I'm just going to mention one because we've all got little things, but the one that really does get my goat, right, is when you're on the tube, right? And the doors open and the people on the platform don't wait for you to get off. I find that so rude. I don't know why. I think people, like, if I'm not waiting, I always wait for people to get off, even like the main train as well, and then I get on. Like, you know what I mean? But like sometimes you get off of the tube and like people just bundle on, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that is an etiquette about the tube and the train. I've been brought up like that, and I never say nothing because most people are bigger than me. But anyway, I'm not happy. I think this. Yeah, it gets me. That's one thing. You know, if someone don't open the door for you or whatever, I'm fine with all things like that. Like, you know what I mean? But you know, people can put their feet on the chairs and not bothered, like. But that just gets me. I don't know why. It just gets to me.
I like that. Some good. This one I love. Gender reveals. I find that really annoying. It's actually started a major fire in California. The gender reveal. This is just such nonsense.
One. That's a great one. That is.
Yeah. And here's manners for Greenie Man. Women who put their crusty feet up on train chairs. Is it only women, Terence? Crikey. Tight people, says Harvey. He's come in with Spurs as well. Do you know what gets me is let's see, we've got Tammy says wokeness. We've got, let's see, the elevator. I don't know what it is about elevator, like, you know, when you're coming in and out of the elevator for a lot of people as well. What about boarding a plane? Now, unless you're traveling first class or business class, and for those of, you know, the universe out there who've had the pleasure of doing that, and I have enjoyed it, it's been, I'll tell you something, Kev and I always used to laugh, and I said this the other day. There's, you know, once you stayed at the Four Seasons, it's really hard to stay at the roadside motel, which is why Arsenal fans get a little bit upset about knowing what it's like to win, and we haven't won the league in a long time. That was our analogy. And why is it when you're boarding a plane, right? You board people, but the line is in that tunnel thing, and it just goes on. And what is the point of that, Lee? Everyone feels like they've got a rush to get up, and then there's a massive line. What is the point? I don't get that. It's really annoying.
Well. I also don't get it why they, as soon as the plane stops, everybody jumps up. What's all that about? Like, they ain't going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, that's a very, very good point. That is, like, you know, where are you going?
Where are you going? Exactly. And the fact is like when the plane's still moving and some people get up to get their bag, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? You ain't going to get there. You know, there's some fun. But that is a good one. Like they go, rows C and D are going, like, you know, and you think, all right, when you get there, there's a massive queue, like, you know what I mean, on that tunnel. And sometimes that can be hot in there as well, like, you know.
Oh God.
Now, listen, I've got a confession to make. I've never ever been business class or first class on a plane. Always been in economy. Never ever.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Right. We're gonna have to start a campaign for you, for Robbie to send you on. This will be great. Listen, Squaddies, and those on replay here. And by the way, there's funny. I like this one. Driving slow in the passing lane. Keep them coming. We've got to get you on a business class seat for one of the away games in Europe this season.
There you go.
We're going to make that happen for you.
If anybody can make that happen, it'd be great. Yeah. So I've never ever been like, you know, obviously, like there's a chance of, I know, because we're going with British Airways, there's a couple of chances that a couple of them might get upgraded, like to business class or something like that. So, but you know what I mean. It ain't going to be me, you know what I mean. But so I've never been like my brother. He comes over from Thailand. He's got more points than Arsenal and Man City put together, like, you know what I mean? And he gets like an upgrade and everything like that. Oh, I've got an upgrade. And you know, do you know someone I know went on the plane and got an upgrade? I didn't even ask for it. As you said, oh, we give you an upgrade. I've never had that. You know what I mean? So there you go.
That is, yeah. I get lucky because I have a brother who works for an airline.
Yeah, so yeah.
And I've been, you know, I get to travel in the suite. I wish I could give you my suite seat. I would do that for you. So we're going to make every effort, because you are one of the Squaddies' favorites. We will get you on a business class seat for this year in Europe. We're going to make it happen. All right, quick fire ones for you here. Quick fire ones for you here, Lee. Your favorite stadium away? Your favorite away stadium?
Favorite away stadium? Oh, that's a tough one there. Like, you know, probably Wolves, because I get hospitality there. Like, it was very, very nice. But I think Chelsea away is still great atmosphere. You're up the top behind the goal. If you get that, there is upper and lower, but if you get upper, it's fantastic. Yeah, someone's saying Anfield. Anfield's great, but it's not as good as it was back in the day, you know what I mean? So, like, in the 80s when it was like the cop was the cop, you know what I mean? I would probably have said Anfield, like, you know. Yeah, I'd probably say Chelsea, like, you know what I mean?
All right. Least favourite?
No, there's 3. Crystal Palace, because you watch the game through a letterbox. It's awful. It's awful on the side. It's the worst. I think that's the worst viewing, by the way. Newcastle, because it's so high up, I think is a disgrace. Right, and I think I love going to Newcastle. Everything, you know, I've got a special fondness of Newcastle because of our Vida Same Pet and all that, like. But so I enjoy going up. When we always go to Newcastle, by the way, I just got to say this: when we get to Newcastle, we always put the music on, like working on the sun. Anyway, that's another thing, like, you know. We love Newcastle, so we're not saying that it's not bad; it's nice, but just going up and up and up ain't great. And obviously, like West Ham's new ground is not nice.
I don't like that either. You're so far away from the pitch.
So far away from it, like, you know, it's But and West Ham, by the way, Upton Park was always my favourite because that was hostile, brilliant atmosphere, everything about it. So it's gone from the best to the worst, which is a shame.
Yeah, Upton Park, Highbury, Goodison, they all had that vibe close to the pitch.
100%.
The fans, you could feel everything inside. It was just brilliant.
White Hart Lane as well. No, White Hart Lane was like that.
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah. I agree with you on Crystal Palace. And you know which other one? I think the new camp is really overrated. And the way when away fans get just stuck in there forever and ever and ever. And also, do you know which other stadium is just absolute trash? Is Old Trafford for the away. That little box where you get, where you get to have, literally it's a box where you get to have a drink. And in the summer, it is like a sauna in there. Yeah. It's disgusting. It's awful. So good ones there. Okay. Rival fans, you can stomach.
I'm going to have to say Everton. For obvious reasons, again, like, you know what I mean? But like always welcomed up there because of the connections with Kev. People would come up to you very, very friendly. Now, it's funny, but going back in the 80s, like, probably Everton was the most hostile place to go, like, you know what I mean? Like, but it ain't no more. I always have a lovely time when I go up there. Like, we'll never be the same. Or I can walk anywhere, like the Winslow, walk in there and be made welcome. So Everton, special place, was up there this week, and it's I always have special memories for me as well, like, you know what I mean? So definitely Everton.
Yeah, check out Lee's X feed and you'll see a picture of the board. The big ad board with Super Kev on it is really brilliant, really super cool stuff. And I'm sure there are going to be some major tributes coming in when the season starts as well. Okay, this is a stupid one, but people would want me to ask you. Football fans, you cannot stomach.
Man City.
Rival fans,
can't stand them. Tottenham I can tolerate because I've got family that are Tottenham, but Manchester City over the last couple of years, particularly because we've gone up with them, like, you know what I mean? Like, they grind me down. They are the worst, horrible. And in the away end, you know what I mean? They've got this fantastic team, but there they are, goading you all the way through it. Like, do you know what I mean? Not watching the game, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Honestly, anybody that's been to Man City will know what I'm on about. Yeah, except Carl. Carl's all right for a Man City fan. I'll let him off.
Is he? He's riled them up here, I got to say. He's actually come on here wearing his Man City shirt. We've allowed it.
And sorry, allowed it as well, like that. You know what I mean? Poor Kev had to put up with that. But but they've got a little fondness for Arsenal. I'm telling you, they have, like, you know what I mean? So I know.
I do believe they have.
Just over the last couple of years, I look at Liverpool fans. They give it, and they've got backup. You know what I mean? Like, same as Man United, same as Arsenal. But Manchester City, they was until this oil money come in. They was, you know what I mean, like, going down to the second division, going down to the third division, coming back up. And all of a sudden now they think that we're the big club, we're this and we're not. No, you're not. And you never will be.
Well said, Mr. Judges. You know what they remind me of, Man City fans, is they're like that friend you have and they've been your friend forever and ever and ever. And then they'll make a shit ton of money and they'll forget where they came from. And that is Man City fans to me.
That's a great analogy. That is Manchester City all over.
Yeah. Totally forgotten where they've come from.
Yeah.
Remember your roots. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're a stadium food kind of guy, but the best and worst stadium food.
Well, I've only experienced hospitality food because that you know, like, you know what I mean. Like,
You may not have travelled business class, but you
they're
had the
all
hospitality
fantastic.
food.
Wolves, Aston Villa, I've been to, but I'm going to have to say, when we went Manchester United, it was probably one of the best days that we ever had. Kevin sorted that out, and we went up to Man United, and we just had the best day. It was just a sensational day all through, and the food was pretty good. And I'm pretty sure it was red meat, so Kevin didn't have it, so I got his as well. So like it was a double whammy for me.
I love it. Yeah. You know, there is, I know, this is great. This is what I put up. He hasn't flown business class, but he's always in hospitality. we have a WhatsApp group, and we rib him about that. It's hilarious. Listen, there's nothing better than hospitality. I tell you, there really
amazing.
Is.
I've got hospitality for the Emirates Cup.
Very nice.
Diamond Club, like, you know what I mean? It's sensational, like, you know what I mean? So.
Très chic. You know, when I looked after actors, less so now, but for the majority of my career, you'd be whining and dining. I mean, best places, you know, hotels, cars, jets, whatever. And then you got to go home and put your key through the door and be like, oh, right, that's right.
Yeah,
I don't live
beans and toast tomorrow. Like,
yeah. All right, let's leave the Squaddies with a little wrap up from you on the dreams for this season. Lee's, by the way, he's in the concrete jungle here, New York, I believe, looking up, thinking, wow, what a city, looking up at the sky, dreaming. And we have dreams as fans. Last 2 seasons, we've come really close. Everyone's panicking, I think. The panic has started to set in a little bit transfer wisely. Give us your assessment. The floor is yours.
The dream for me is to win one of the big ones, the Premier League or the Champions League. If you said which one, I don't care. I just want Arsenal to get over the line, win a big trophy, take the pressure off of Mikel, because I still think he's under a lot of pressure. Some people, have not turned, still won't turn in his favour, and I don't think even if he won the Premier League, they'd still find some excuse. So we ain't won the Champions League, or he ain't backed it up with winning it again. You know, like, listen, I hold my hands up. I didn't think he was good enough, but I'm big enough and brave enough to say no, I got it wrong. But he needs to get it over the line. He does need to get it over the line. And if we can win the league, God, we was close last year. You know what I mean? That is as close as you can get to winning it, to winning it. You know, without winning it. That's how close we was. You know what I mean? And at one time, I did think we was going to win it. Do I think we're going to win it this year? I'm not sure. So I wasn't sure last season, but I thought when I walked into the stadium when we playing Aston Villa, I did think we was going to win it, and unfortunately we lost that day. But another season like we did, but with just one more win on top of that, and that will be fantastic. Like, you know, so some great memories last season, and way we played. But I think that every Arsenal fan, every fan of every club wants to win, you know, win the league, don't they? Like, you know what I mean? And listen, there's nothing better than when you know that you've won. When that final whistle goes, and you know you won the league.
Yeah,
it's a great feeling that your team, the Arsenal, is the best team in the league and the best team in the country. So let's hope we can do it, like, you know.
I think it's going to get harder, and you know, this might be the last season we're the closest team to Manchester City. I felt last season we could do it. I don't know about this season, and maybe that's because, you know, Do we need a prolific striker, Lee, to win the league? Because our defense is good. You know, the midfield, even if it stays this way, it's good, but is it good enough? You know, injuries. How many injuries away are we from being in a tricky spot? I believe in everything that he's doing and has done. And like you, I was a skeptic at first. But I think the extra edge signing hasn't happened yet this season. And partly that is striker, and maybe he's going to roll the dice with Havertz as the number 9. But yeah, that part is a little worrying in the sense that where is that extra inch coming from in order to cross us over the line?
I think we need to strengthen in three areas: one wide, one up front, and one in midfield. And I mean big signings in those areas. I'd settle for 2. If you said to me like we're going to sign a top class midfield player and a wide player, I'd accept that. If you said it was a midfield player and a forward, I'd accept that. I wouldn't accept a wide player and a forward, though. I think we need to strengthen in that midfield, like, you know, because Declan Rice, as good as what he was last season, is going to have another at least 7 games, or more than what he's had. Well, it's definitely 4. Mm-hmm. But if you want to be going into deep into cup competitions, I'd expect another 4, 5, 6 games on top of what he done last season. He only missed one half of football last season in the league. To ask him to go and do that again after the Euros and hit the ground running, I think is going to be really, really tough. I think it's a massive pre-season for the likes of Jesus coming back, like, you know, to prove that he can be back to where he was. Let's hope that he does. Thomas Partey, we'll see. Yeah, and Julian Timber, obviously, I think someone just said there, Julian Timber as well. Like, you know, massive. This American sort of trip, massive for those guys. But I think we need a big a player in midfield that's going to help us, because I think we would have won the league last season. So if Thomas Partey would have been available for another 20 games.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. You know, even maybe if Julian Timber had stayed fit for even half the season, maybe that would have made a difference. If we'd taken our chances, I mean, there's all these things you look back on, and you need more goals from midfield. You know, we need more goals from. You know, we need Saka can't just carry the team. And I felt like, I'm not saying he carried the team last year, but Saka and Odegaard to a certain extent. Declan Rice was fantastic. Saliba, those 4 everyone needs to get up to their levels and their standards and do it more consistently at the same time. And that's what City do so brilliantly, isn't it? Yeah. They just hit their stride all together at the right time, barring maybe 2 games where, you know, they don't do that. And I think we just need to do a little bit more of that. We're not going to see Havertz on this trip, I'm assuming. No Saliba, no Rice, no Saka.
No Martinelli, Gabriel, neither there, but they won't be there.
Yeah.
A lot of players missing. So the Emirates Cup will be more important, but you've still got the players that have, you know, it's not going to be as important as tour as it has been for the last couple of seasons, because it's changed, you know what I mean, because of the Euros and the Cup of America. But it's still important for those, you know, I'm a big Jesus fan, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people have been sleeping on him because he's not been quite fit enough. But think back to when he first come before that injury. If we can get that sort of performances out of him, you know, he's one hell of a player.
Agree. And I've picked him to have a monster season, like Rich said. He was the guy I picked when I spoke to Tom on Monday. Right, this has been brilliant stuff. Arsenal love from Lee and love for all things in his life. By the way, do you remember the name of your first ever love?
My first ever love? Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Broke my heart. He did. Broke my, you know.
Did she?
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Run off with a soldier.
Well, you've bagged a good one, so you're all right. That's the most important thing. All right, give Lee a follow if you live under a rock. Lee Judges TV, check him out on AFTV as well. Here are his handles. He's been our podcaster of the week and has been absolutely brilliant. When do you leave for the States? You off in the next few days?
Off on Monday. We leave on the Monday. I think the players go on the Sunday, or the club goes on the Sunday, and we're out there on the Monday. So if you are out there and you know, make sure you come up and say hello if you see me, like, you know, and I don't know where everybody's going to be and all that. We know when we get out there, but I'm pretty sure we'll hook up as well, Sophie, and we'll all have a drink, and so yeah, come along and say hello.
I will see you in La La Land, my friend. Safe travels. And thank you for sharing a little bit of you. Enjoy the steak and kidney pie. My goodness, they better have it. All right. I know you've got to run off. So thanks a lot, Lee.
I'll message you lot and go like,
message me. I'll let the squaddies know. At ease, squaddies, at ease. We'll see you next week where we start our Arsenal in America coverage. Until then, take care. And thanks to Lee for being our podcaster of the week. Have a good one. Stay safe. And don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.